Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're gonna be reviewing another game. This game was actually a big mess. The middle game was a mess. Didn't have direction. There wasn't even an exchange of blows. It was like a jab, and a miss, a jab, and a miss. So let's check out. But the end game was actually good. I can say it was good. It wasn't perfect or great, but it was a good end game. Let's check out this game and see what happened. I first started with the king's pawn with the knight because my opponent played the Caro-Kann. Then I move my pawn to e5. Then I attack my knight, pinning it to the queen. Most in this position, when you're playing the Caro-Kann, you put your bishop to in f5, not to g4. But my opponent was pinning it in. Anyone can play their own version of opening. I'm not the one to dictate to my opponent to play what. So my opponent played bishop to g5, pinning my knight to my queen. Of course, I covered that with the bishop to a2, brought out his pawn, his king's pawn. Then I brought out my queen's pawn to d4, protecting the pawn on the king's pawn on e5. Of course, it tries to eliminate that little pawn structure that I built there with his pawn. Of course, I attacked his bishop, take his bishop to h5, brought out my knight. Should have taken the pawn first, but I didn't want him to develop his bishop. So hence I didn't take the pawn. I didn't want him to develop his bishop. And then he took my pawn. Of course, then I took back with the queen. Brought out this knight attacking my queen. Then I pinned his knight to the king. Then he played king to e7, which is a blunder because he's losing his bishop. Of course, I didn't see that, as I said at the beginning of the video, this game was a mess. So I didn't see the move, the blunder that they made because he was losing his bishop. At this position, I should have played queen to h4 check, and he can cover it with the knight protecting his bishop because there's a pawn on e5. I'm just gonna take his knight, and then with a check, and he's going to also lose his bishop at the same time. So he was gonna lose his bishop, so I didn't see that move. I played the move check, c with the queen to see in the square c5. Then I moved this king to d7. He couldn't move his king back to the original square because I was gonna win the pawn. I was gonna take his knight with the check, and he's gonna take with the pawn. Then I win the pawn with the check with the pin with this kind of a fork. But I can't take his. It's not a fork because I can't take his rook. It's protected by the queen. I took the knight anyway with the bishop. Took back with the pawn. I can't take the pawn. It's protected by the king. Move back my queen to d4. I took my knight because I have to take his bishop. Then he developed his knight to e7. I think my opponent would have liked to develop his knight to f6, but there's a pawn there covering that square, so you have to take with the move that you have, with the square that you have provided. Anyway, I brought out my bishop to e3, looking to castle. Then I attacked my queen and my bishop. Then I moved my queen to a4. My bishop is protected by the pawn anyway, so I didn't have to worry about that. Then he attacked my pawn. I saw him moving his queen attacking my pawn, but I don't know. I just waited a few seconds, then I castled. Don't know why given I waited pawn because I should have just played pawn to f4, protecting the pawn on e5. But they lost that pawn, of course, it's a free pawn. That's to be accepted. Then I played the move attacking the queen, the move f4, which he moved this queen to f5. The move to f4 is a mistake. Shouldn't have played that. I should have. This is the move here is difficult to see. If some people can see it, but if you're able to see it, it means you're high rated. You're probably like you're high rated. Your rating is pretty high. But people with a lower rating can't see this move. It's actually a good move. It's actually a fantastic move. People with a lower rating can't really see it. This move, the move wins the queen. If the move it's accepted, it wins the queen. So let me show you the move. The move is you play your knight, the knight on. I should have played my knight on c3 to d5. The pawn on c6 can't take because it's pinned to the king by the queen. The only pieces that can take the knight at that position are the queen and the pawn on e6. And you can't take with the queen because you're gonna lose the queen because of the rook on d1. So you have to accept if you take with the pawn on e6, it's a blunder because I take the knight, then you take with the pawn, then I take the pawn on the pawn that's on e6 that takes the knight. I take it with the rook, and then with a check of the king and the queen, check with me forking the king and the queen, and you have to accept because if you move your queen, if you move your queen, if you move your king, you're gonna lose your queen anyway. So you have to take the the rook. Then I take my rook on the rook that's on h8. It's on h8. No, it's on h1. The rook on h1. And the rook on h1, I take it to d1 with the pin. Then I win your queen. That's the move. But I think my opponent could have. The computer says I'm winning at that position, but I think my opponent could have won the game with the remaining pieces. Because I've left with the queen and the bishop. Anyway, let's continue. Of course, I didn't play that move. I played my knight to e4, chasing the queen. Move this queen to g6. Chase the queen with my rook. Then I play this queen to h5. Then I played the move knight check, which the computer says it's a mistake. Oh, it's not a mistake, it's a miss. It says it's a miss, not a mistake. The computer preferred the move knight to rook the rook on g1, preferred it to g5, attacking the queen. I don't really know what that move does because the queen is gonna win the queen is gonna win the pawn on h3. Don't really know what that move does. If you know, you can comment below and tell me what actually that move does. I played the move knight with the check because you can take with the bishop. Then I take with my bishop on c5 on the square c5. Then I play this, and this is an accurate move. An accurate move, not accurate, inaccurate. I play this rook to c8. Then I played my queen to a6. It's still like the move, the knight moving it to g5. It says the move to the move that I made with the queen is a miss. But anyway, let's continue. It took that pawn, of course. That move is a blunder. This blunder I didn't miss. This is a big blunder because it changes the game. This blunder I didn't miss. This is where I win the game. You saw that middle. Now it's the end game. The middle game was actually a mess. If you saw what happened, it was actually a mess. First, I played with the queen with a check. Move this king to e8. Come with my rook. At this position, the queen is threatening a checkmate on e7, but it can't take that square because there's a knight protecting the square. So me moving my rook to g7, I'm actually threatening checkmate on both sides. If you don't accept the rook, I play to g8 with a checkmate. If you accept the rook, I play my queen to e7 with a checkmate. So that's a difficult position. My opponent just played queen to h5, which I played. I chose at this position I have to choose the checkmate with the because he didn't accept the rook. So I have to play the checkmate, removing the rook to g8. My opponent there should have, this is checkmate in one, but should have played the queen to e8 with the check. So I will have to accept with the bishop. It's not allowing my opponent to win the game, it's just delaying because it's still checkmate in 3 moves. If he does that move, playing my ace queen to e3, then I'll accept with the bishop. Then you'll choose, of course you'll have to choose the rook because the rook is threatening checkmate. The bishop will still be there. Then I'll play my rook to on d1 to g1. Continue with the checkmate threat, but because there's a knight there protecting that square, that file, I can't play the checkmate, and the knight is free for the taking. I can't move the knight because if he moves the knight, it's a checkmate. So you'll have to protect the knight. Then we'll have to move his king to f8. Then I come back with the bishop with a check, making him to move to in front of his knight, pinning himself to the knight with his king. Then I'll move back my bishop to d4. Then I win the knight. Then of course his king, if his king moves to the corner, it's also a check. I'll just have to take the pawn on f7. Then does checkmate. The game is over. So he moves his king back. It's also a checkmate. And the game was actually over there. Yeah, thank you for watching. That was the game. A pretty huge mess. But I was able to salvage the game at the end with that brilliant knight move. With that brilliant rook move, sorry. With that brilliant, it's not a brilliant move, I'm just saying that brilliant rook move. Thank you for watching. And please subscribe, share, comment, smash the notification bell to be notified the next time I drop a video. Thank you for watching again.